Welcome to the Cancer Fighting Nutrition series. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Ghost Hand Productions, Nourishing Generations, and Cancer Care Point. Today's talk is about make a cancer-fighting meal. So let's dive in and note that these slides are available on our website, nourishinggenerations.org. Please note that the information in this talk is not intended for medical advice or recommendation. And then what is meal basics? Before we get into cancer fighting, what's a health promoting meal? Like what do we need to run this body-mind machine? Well, we need our macronutrients and we need our micronutrients. So what are our macronutrients? Our carbohydrates, our starches. We get vegetables, whole grains, beans. Our protein, our fat, our water and fiber. These are nutrients we take in large amounts, in gram amounts. We need this to run our wonderful, beautiful body machine. All those 37 trillion cells are like little baby birds saying, feed me. And then to make the macronutrients work, we need the little guys. We need the micronutrients. We need vitamins. We need minerals. And then there are hundreds of plant nutrients that we call phytonutrients that also work with the macronutrients. We need these together to help come up with what is considered a healthy, health-promoting, disease-preventing meal. So what is a cancer-fighting meal? Abundant veggies. You want to default to veggies. Make veggies the main course. So I had Brussels sprouts the other night. Roasted Brussels sprouts was the main course, and I had some salmon on the side, and I had some sauerkraut on the side, and I had a small sweet potato. So get into that mindset as veggies are your best friends. At least 50% of the plate are going to be your veggies, your non-starchy veggies, your potatoes. Those are starchy, those will be a little less. You do need starch. These are your carbohydrates. These are the guys that run the energy mechanisms, the B vitamins, the magnesium. About 25% for most people. Again, there's a lot of individuality. So where do you get these starches? Potatoes, sweet potatoes. I like people to broaden their horizon. So try a purple sweet potato. Have some jicama. Have Jerusalem artichoke. Like, think outside of the box, because the more you can diversify your diet, the more nutrients you're going to get in. They're going to help keep you healthy and strong. Wild rice, brown rice, and lentils. Adding some lentils to brown rice when you're cooking them and cooking them in broth, so much better. We add more protein, we add more fiber, we had funky minerals like molybdenum. We need all of these wonderful vitamins, minerals to help run our beautiful body machines. And then mushrooms and beans, they're other superfoods. So Chef Rebecca and Chef Karen are going to be we'll do some food demos and recipes. Check out our website for how to actually make these foods in an easy way that's actually quite tasty. And those videos will be on our website. And then protein. About 25% of the plate. When we're managing cancer, we need to make sure our protein needs are being addressed, because it's what we need to repair. Cancer can be harmful to normal cells, but they can repair. They need protein and they need their vitamins and minerals to help utilize the protein. And we're finding out that the protein recommendations, especially for older women who are experiencing bone loss, that the protein recommendations may not be sufficient. They used to think 50 grams, now they're thinking you may need 70 grams of protein a day. So we really want to make sure we're getting in the right amount of protein that we need. And where do we get our protein? Animal foods, fish, but also from vegetables and beans and grains, and even mushrooms have protein. So you don't have to have animal foods to get complete protein. You can combine your bean and combine your grain, especially with some vegetables and mushrooms, and you'll be getting your complete protein that's so important for repair and for bone building. And then healthy fat. need to have healthy fat in terms of oils. We have plant fats. We also have fish. And this is very important for hormone control and for brain health. So we want to make sure that we're also getting in enough of our healthy macronutrient fat. So a plant-focused meal is considered the diet direction that's going to give us the most health-promoting activity and the most cancer prevention. So what does this mean? So plant focus doesn't mean vegetarian or vegan and you cannot have animal foods. It means that most of what you are enjoying are plant foods. And you have quite a bit. You have veggies, you have whole grains, beans, fruit, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices. And then you can add your animal foods kind of like a condiment. And we want the animal foods to be very high quality. So as far as your plant foods, diversification is key. We don't want to just have the same old, just green beans. We don't want to just have broccoli. Let's have some cauliflower. Let's have some kale. Hey, let's have some radishes. Let's try a watermelon radish. Let's try a black radish. Let's kind of get out of that little rut, your veggie rut, and try some different veggies. The more you can diversify your plant foods, the more you can keep your gut bacteria healthy. The gut bacteria are doing a lot of free work for you. They need plant fibers. So the studies are showing that to prevent all diseases, including cancer, the more plant fibers in your diet, the better you will be. And whole grains, diversifying quinoa and buckwheat and wild rice, for example, they're not really grains, they're pseudo grains. They have more fiber and they have more protein. So Chef Rebecca and Chef Karen are going to show you some yummy, easy ways to get in some of these cool grains. Beans, a cup of beans a day. I consider beans to be a superfood, underutilized superfood. They're economical. Beans give you protein. 1 cup of beans is 15 grams of protein. But it also has zinc and iron and other minerals, also has starch. So it really is a nutritional score. Beans combined with a grain or whole protein. It's the fiber, again, that's really, really important. Diversify your beans. Try a heritage bean or try a Mother Stallard bean, or don't just see same old. Just diversify. That's the name of the game. And fruit. Enjoy what's in season. Enjoy your staples like your apples. Nuts and seeds, nutrient dense, small amount of them, like a 1/4 cup a day. Great serving size. Again, diversify. Include Brazil nuts, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, almonds, pecans. Just get out of the box a little bit. So these guys give you protein, give you healthy fat, give you an assortment of minerals. And then spice it up with herbs. We know that herbs on their own have a lot of cancer-fighting power. So the more that we can add cinnamon or turmeric or ginger, a lot of studies about how we can use medicinal herbs, culinary herbs, to spice up the flavor, but also to give us that wonderful cellular regulation that plant foods provide. So a plant-focused plate means 50% of your plate will be plant foods, will be vegetables, and maybe some nuts and seeds. 25% will be your starch, so that would be a potato, a sweet potato, could be quinoa or wild rice, and then 25% will be protein, whether it's fish or chicken, or perhaps it's beans, or perhaps it's tofu. And the mixture of mushrooms in there will give you some protein as well. So how do we enhance our plate? I think what we have to think about is we have a healthy plate, but we're fighting cancer, we want to make it even better. What are some booster foods? What are some enhancements that we can add? Well, up here on the right is olive oil. So olive oil is a super cancer-fighting food. Many people don't know that. It's very rich in polyphenols. This is one of the reasons why the Mediterranean diet is considered the model diet to help manage heart disease and cancer, help prevent these diseases. but you have to have high quality olive oil. And this is where we get into quality. You don't want an olive oil that's in a clear plastic container that's highly processed. Ideally, you want a dark container and an unfiltered olive oil. And they're easy to find, very high quality olive oil. Drizzling that over like 2 tablespoons a day is one of the easy things you can do. And then going down from there, apple cider vinegar, and going down from there, sauerkraut. These are probiotic foods. Over to the left, yogurt. Probiotic foods add beneficial bacteria, very, very important for digestion, also for the immune system. 2/3 of the immune system is in the GI tract. Best way to strengthen and balance the immune system is make sure your gut bacteria is really robust. Going up from the yogurt are hemp seeds. Adding hemp nut seed to granola or to your oatmeal, for example, 3 tablespoons will give you 10 grams of protein in addition to healthy fats and an assortment of vitamins and minerals. So how can I take my bowl of oatmeal or my granola and make it better? I could add yogurt, I could add hemp seeds. How can I add to my cooked kale or cooked broccoli? I could add what's on the top here, nutritional yeast. A couple of tablespoons of nutritional yeast adds protein, B vitamins, and minerals. So there's lots of additions that we could add. And that's the name of the game, is looking at our meal saying, how can I make this even better? Keep it simple. You do not have to have a complicated meal prep in order to make it healthful, health promoting. Chef Rebecca and Karen will actually have some videos on our website that will show you some easy and yummy ways when you can make a simple cancer-fighting meal. Also, keep the portions small if you're not feeling well. I often hear people are frustrated, they are not feeling so well, they can't eat much, but yet they feel like they need to be getting in their cancer-fighting nutrients. And I say, it's okay, because there'll be periods of time we don't feel like eating, and those times will pass, and you'll be able to get back into your game of eating more. Keep your portions small. Keep it to easy to digest foods, such as a cup of broth or having some soup, long simmered stews, blended soups, drinks, even smoothies. These are great ways to get in easy to absorb nutrition. Heating up some broth, bone broth would be great. Whisking in some miso will give you added protein, probiotic foods, and some B vitamins. So keep it simple and what works for you. Rice porridge is a popular break fast type of meal. It's popular in Ayurvedic and Indian eating tradition, as well as in traditional Chinese medicine. We call it congee. So what it is a long simmered rice that's simmered in broth or water. Broth would be better. And you add carrots and cabbage and ginger, also split peas or mung beans, more traditional, some salt and some turmeric, and maybe a little ghee, clarified butter. And this gets cooked for a long time. So simple foods. An alternative would be to heat up an already made soup and keeping it simple so that you can get easy to absorb nutrition. Important to get some culture in your meals. Fermented foods such as yogurt. Kefir is a different type of fermented food. It has a more diverse makeup of probiotic bacteria. Sauerkraut or kimchi or beet ginger kraut. Krauts have come a long way, and culturing and fermenting your own vegetables is actually an easy thing to do now. You can start out by buying them in the store. Experiment a little. Check out a fennel carrot sauerkraut. What's so important about these foods is they're digestive aids that give you good bacteria that help to strengthen the immune system. Beet kvass is fermented beets. So this is where to broaden your horizon for cultured foods. Beet kvass is available in many farmers markets. Fermented fruit, fermented salsa. I made a fermented salsa the other day. Fermented apples. You can basically ferment anything. Ferments used to be how we traditionally preserved food. It was part of our traditional diet. As we've moved away from having more cultured fermented foods, we think that our digestive systems maybe aren't as robust. So this is really a nice way of adding in digestive support and immune support. Gut goo is another one. It's gut shot. It's the liquid that comes from the sauerkraut that you can just drink. Kombucha, miso, apple cider vinegar, these are all options. So the rule of thumb is to include a probiotic food, a serving of probiotic food every day. So making a meal that's cancer fighting, make a simple anytime meal. What are your ingredients? Well, you need some protein. Eggs are a standby, so you can cook eggs any way you want. Best to add some vegetables. So if you do eggs and you have some sauteed spinach, or maybe even better, combination of spinach with baby kale and collard greens, you'll have the benefit of those crucifer vegetables, extra cancer fighting potential. Are eggs okay to eat? Absolutely. I think unfortunately they've been demonized as the fat being not good for you, and the data linking eggs to cholesterol isn't really that robust for most people. I will recommend that you get high quality eggs. So that would be pastured eggs. Now you can actually choose regenerative eggs. We're getting more fancy. How do you know what the best ones are? You'll notice the price. So it'll be a little bit more for pastured, meaning that the hens have the opportunity to eat bugs and to peck around, and the resulting yolk of those eggs will have a lot more choline, a lot more B vitamins, a lot more iodine, will be more nutrient dense. So if you think about animal foods, you are eating what that animal is eating and what that animal is living. So eggs are a great source of bioavailable protein, a good source of iodine, a good source of selenium. They are a score. Get quality. Having it with some greens, maybe on a piece of toast. Having the vegetables gives you vitamins and minerals that help you better utilize the protein and fat. Going down to a simple soup. The simplest soup is opening up a box or a can, heating it up, having it with some crackers. You want to go to the next step, add some chopped cabbage, add some beans, add some mushrooms. You want to go to the next step, saute some onions and carrots and celery, add some spices. But keeping it simple, there's lots of options, and Chef Rebecca and Karen are going to demonstrate how to make a super simple soup and then how to add some yummy, even more cancer-fighting ingredients. How about a quickie salad? So a quickie salad, some people will say, oh, I don't feel like making a salad. Well, if you get salad greens, put them in a bowl, and then get creative on what your salad's going to be. Add some artichoke hearts, lots of fiber. Add some beans, add sliced avocado, add some canned tuna. Just get out of the box. Salad isn't just lettuce and maybe tomato and cucumber. What else can I add? Think fiber, think color. Oh, I could add some sliced beets. I can buy them already cooked, or I could cook them myself. I could add some beet ginger kraut. Quickie salad, lots of options here, and put some drizzle with olive oil, maybe some balsamic or apple cider vinegar. So use your creative juices to decide what kind of a salad am I going to have. So it's not a ho-hum salad. It's actually, wow, this is like a cancer-fighting salad. And then a Nourish bowl. So a Nourish bowl, I think of it as like a salad, only things are separated out. And this is like my leftover bowl. So if I've cooked some quinoa, I've got it for a couple of days. If I've cooked a chicken, I've got it for a couple of days. I always have some beans, always have some cabbage, avocado. If I don't want to have chicken, I'll put some hummus in the middle of it. Sometimes I will make this Nourish bowl while I'm making dinner for time saving. I may not have time for lunch, so when I'm making dinner, I'm thinking, what am I going to have for lunch? Oh, okay, I've got this quinoa, I've got this leftover chicken, I've got my beans. I'll make my bowl then so that I have it ready to go, because time management and planning is huge. You don't want to let yourself be vulnerable. Oh, I'm really hungry, what am I going to have? You do want to make your food, your own food, as much as you can, because you will use quality ingredients. A colorful wrap. Here's where you really can get in a rainbow. So you can take a lettuce wrap, especially if you want to substitute lettuce for bread. I'll take a wonderful romaine lettuce, or maybe I'll use a colorful endive, and I'll put some hummus in it and some chopped cucumber, or maybe I'll put some tuna or sardine salad. Remember, I want to have a protein, I want some starch, I want some fat. So wraps are just so beautiful. The presentation is lovely, and it can be very, very easy to make. A sizzling stir fry, one of my favorites to have for dinner. So I always have cabbage, I always have broccoli florettes, always have mushrooms, and maybe I'll use peanuts, I'll use nuts. I won't have an animal source, and the name of the game is sauces. And Chef Rebecca and Karen are going to do a food demo. Check it out on our website, the food demo on how to make wonderful sauces to go with your wraps. Yogurt, granola, nuts, berries, it's an anytime meal. We can have breakfast for dinner if we want. Yogurt, if you get a good quality yogurt from grass-fed animals, is the key. And you do want whole yogurt, and get it unsweetened. You can sweeten it yourself with some berries. You can add some nuts. Again, this is an opportunity to add in a lot of booster foods, such as hemp nuts. You can mix granola with yogurt, nuts, and berries, and add some cinnamon. Whenever you have an opportunity to add a spice, add a spice. And then a smoothie is one of my favorite ways to just get in everything. We can add some mushroom powder. We can add some matcha green tea powder. We can have green vegetables. We can add berries. We just make it taste good. It can be a quick on-the-go meal, and you can have kefir for your protein source, or yogurt for your protein source, or even a protein powder. And Rebecca and Karen, check out our videos on our website that will show you some ideas for how to make a nourishing smoothie. So what about toast? An anytime meal. You just don't know what to have. You're feeling kind of peckish, but you usually have some bread, and you've got a toaster, and you toast some bread, and then what are you going to put on it? You need some protein. Or maybe I have some smoked salmon or leftover fish that I cooked. Oh, I've got tuna fish in the cabinet. Oh, I have leftover chicken. Oh, I've got hummus. I have avocado toast. And I can add. I can add hemp nut seeds, I can add tomatoes, I can add olive oil. So toast is basically an anytime meal. You keep the ingredients on hand. And in conclusion, we want to really think about mindful eating, having a mindful meal. So we've talked about what to eat, what makes a healthy meal, but how are you enjoying that meal? So we want to slow down, we want to stop, we want to put the food on a plate. Even if you're at work, you only have 10 minutes, we still want to practice our mindful eating. Food on a plate, sit, take a couple of deep breaths. What that will do is actually transition you into that calm, peaceful brain space, and that's where digestive juices flow best. If we are busy doing other activities, while we're eating, we're not digesting optimally. And then we want to chew well. So our peaceful brain activates the calm nervous system, stimulates the flow of digestive juices. Please check out our website for additional information, for copies of these slides, for wonderful, easy food demos, and thank you very much for listening.